Hello and welcome to season 6 of Business Mentorship, Keeping It Real, introducing corporate leaders who have taken the leap to business owner and participate with their great idea in our guest blog, found on shareyourstories.online. Our guest joins us from New York, New York. Camille Miller is a 3-time best-selling author on soul-driven entrepreneurship. She is the founder of the Soul Professional Movement and is a sought-after business designer and strategist. Let's find out how Camille's personal strategy of every 2 years I move up or I move out created an opportunity for reinvention. It is my pleasure to welcome and introduce everyone to Camille Miller.
Oh, thank you so much, Trish. I'm excited to be here with you today.
You know what? I have been looking forward to our conversation because I seriously loved your concept. I mean, we've all been through the corporate ladder, right? We've all done our thing. We've all had the job, and we all seem to gravitate to the moving up, right?
Yeah.
It just seemed to have been part of our corporate culture for women, right? We had to prove a point and get into that entry-level job and then start one rung at a time. But I loved your concept of every 2 years, if I don't move up, I move out.
Yeah. It was a much faster way to move too.
Yeah.
Which now, like, that was kind of odd back in the like 80s and 90s when I entered the workforce.
Yeah.
Now I see it as just kind of commonplace. People are always job jumping.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
It's but for me, I was able to scale quicker.
Right.
I think most people are actually.
And you know what? I think that's a really important point when you get to entrepreneurship, because one of the things that we try to do is scale quicker, right?
Yeah.
Because when we start out, we've got this great idea. You've got no revenue coming in. You've taken the leap. You're a little bit fearful of going like, okay, I have rent to pay. I've got to put food on the table. You may have kids to feed. And you're like, okay, I need to get going. So how we scale is actually a really important part. It's actually a motivator.
Yes. Yeah. But I feel like in entrepreneurship, sometimes we scale without having the right foundation under us, and we topple backwards. Like, I've done it. You've probably done, like, we all make the mistake. I'm a little like, we're smarter as we grow.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. But now I'm always telling clients, I was like, we cannot scale until your foundation is so rock solid it doesn't crumble.
And, you know, I think that's also because our economy is so volatile right now, right? It's like we don't have this steady Eddie kind of concept in business that seemed to be around for a number of years. We have this up and down market, right?
Yeah, more than ever before. And I was just telling someone yesterday, like, last year was actually the biggest year I ever had in my company. And this first quarter was probably the lowest. Like, I was like, this is wild coming off my best year ever, because there's just uncertainty.
How do you plan for that, Camille? How do you plan? Like, you know, when we're working with people, right? Yeah. But one of the things that we do have to do is have money in the bank to take us through the times when it dips.
Yeah. And that's the scary part. And I think a lot of people, in these moments, right? Because we all go through them. I don't care where you are in business. We all go through them.
Yep.
You have money for those rainy days, just in case whatever happens, right? And you have to make it through. But many times people start to create from scarcity. Like, let me just throw this out there. Let me just do this. Let me just, right? I do it too. I've done it. And I always have to remind myself, don't do that. Like, I threw out an old program. And as like, I was like 2 weeks into it. It was a 12-week program. And I was like, this is why it was old. I hate doing this. Like, it was like, the fact that it sold did not help me at all. Right. I was just like, but it was a good reminder that sometimes, like, I'm a different person than when I first wrote that program and it was out there. Right. I work with a very different, highly skilled person today than I did when that program. Right. So it was just a reminder in my face of don't do that, right?
But you
That was
know what?
creating from
Like
scarcity.
invention, the product innovation, taking a mindset and reinventing a mindset happens through the experience that we gain as we go through the years of entrepreneurship,
Of,
right?
of course, we're better at stuff.
So tell us a little bit, we have a viewing and listening audience who are connecting with what you're saying because they're going, oh yeah, geez, Louise, I totally get it. I've done that too, right? Now you have this wonderful opportunity from a collective standpoint and an international global community to
Yeah.
tap into resources, which is really and we all pivot, right? So we
Oh
start
yeah.
here and where we end up is a little bit different than where we start. So give our viewing and listening audience a bit of an indication as to the school and the resources that you've created to help with that entrepreneurial journey.
Yeah, so thank you. So I created the Soul Professional Movement, which is a global call and community. It's completely free right now, for purpose-driven entrepreneurs all over the world. And we just broke 30 countries, so we're really excited about, being out there. And it's a way to connect, collaborate, and really rise as global citizens and entrepreneurs in the world, right? And how we can help. Almost everyone is service-based.
Matt,
So we can
right?
also, yeah, it's amazing, right? So we
Right.
can also hire each other, right? Because we know when you signed the Soul Professional Pledge, right? It's a pledge to be a global citizen. It's a pledge to scale with collaboration, right? That I know if I need a website designer or a brander or I don't know, whatever it is in the world, that I can go to my community because we have the same core values. I don't have to explain who I am in the world,
Right.
right? And
Right.
that's kind of nice. So it was all about creating an ecosystem for us in the world,
And you
right?
know what? That's a huge, powerful standpoint. Like, talk about a foundational platform.
Yes. Yeah, I'm excited about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And from that, I created the Soul Professional Business School because I am a former MBA professor. And I felt that the school wasn't really servicing service-based entrepreneurs, right? If they're talking about entrepreneurs, they're talking about product.
Right.
And there's more service than there is product, right? Think
Right.
about even your lawyers, your CPAs, your doctors, all of them can have private practices, but we don't even teach that. We're always teaching people to go to these big firms, which is not going to be happening in the
Mhm.
future. Like the future is really entrepreneurship, right? And it's purpose driven, and people want the time, they want boundless freedom, they want to work on their own schedules, their own time zones, right? And they want to travel all over the world. That's who we are today, and it's going to exponentially
Grow.
grow. Like that's
Yeah.
where we're going,
Yeah.
right? So I created the school because the universities wouldn't really listen to me. So I'm just like, all right, I'm just going to create it in the world because many of the people that I serve already had corporate careers or already had a career. They're not going back to school either,
No.
right? So I kind of took the MBA curriculum in 14 weeks and brought it down, but I put a soulful spin on it because I'm all about showing up authentically in the world. And how are you serving people, right? And how are you so uniquely different that you have no competition? When people want your services, you're the only choice. Like, how do you position yourself in a way that you're it, you're the answer, right? I have something that's very unique in the world, but everyone can have something that's unique in the world. And it's
Yeah,
how do we
for
put
sure.
it out there? And I think today with AI, there's so much noise. Like
Yeah.
everyone is just a generalist throwing stuff out there. And that's not how we're going to do it. Posts aren't really bringing things in anymore. It's going back to community and conversation and having relationships. That's our future.
And you know what's important and what I love about the alignment of our two communities is that we both understand that in order to scale, we are going to need global partnerships and global
Yes.
collaboration, right?
Yes.
Especially in the service sector.
Absolutely. Absolutely. More than ever. Yesterday, I was actually working on a little like paragraph or something to reach out to more people to create better partnerships. Because
Mhm.
I was like, you know what, I'm lacking partnerships right now. So I know so many people, right?
Right.
So many people.
Right.
But partnerships is what helps, right?
And knowing so many people can be a blessing and a curse,
Mm-hmm.
because how do you create a, community or um, a smaller group of trusted individuals that you can
Yes.
call and say, okay, I've got this, there's 10 of us. And I know that if I pick up the phone and I call Camille and I say, listen, I'm having a problem with this. Can we brainstorm for 15 minutes just to talk it through? That you'll make time,
Yeah.
and it will help
Yeah.
each other,
Yes.
right? Almost like trusted advisors.
Yes. I mean, I have those people. I'm sure you have those people,
Mhm.
right? I have ones that I even check in with every month, and I have other partners that I check in with about every quarter, like every 3 months,
Right. Right.
right? That's what you need. But it's also a big part of what I'm going to do going forward is finding I used to call them affiliates. Now it's like marketing partners, like people that are also talking about my programs, right?
Right.
Or giving referral fees back. It's a lot easier. It's like having your own sales team, right?
Right.
No one else is providing what I'm providing. So if you bring someone in, you could have a piece of everything I do, right?
Right.
It's a lot easier.
Mhm.
And I think that's a big part of it going forward. And like there is like the BNI model and other models like that, but they were very masculine energy. So it's
Mhm.
how do we create that same partnership, right? Those same referral bases, but do it in a place that's authentic and you're actually serving, right? I don't take on clients that I don't help. I'm not trying to close every client
Right.
because not everyone's ready to work with me, right? So that's a place of actually serving both people, right?
I also think it has to be more than just the money. I mean, I use that phrase all the
Yes,
time, right? Like our community is more than just about the money. It's
of course.
about sharing resources. It's about support. It's about mentorship. It's about brainstorming. Like all of the things that we may have had the opportunity to do in a large corporation, we now
Hmm.
need to duplicate those positive things in our own entrepreneurial environment, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I think there's a call for community again,
Yes.
right? We've done the online Zoom thing and like it's tired. Like
Mhm.
I think the model that so many people, that's why I closed my membership at the end of last year. I was like, this model is getting so old and so overdone that
Right.
no one's even showing up anymore.
Right.
Right. So
Yeah.
I
So
believe that
true.
there is a new model out there. I don't know
Mhm.
what it is. I'm
Right.
waiting for the download. Like there is a new model out there. I don't know what that looks like yet, but people are tired of the social media. They're tired of the posting because it's very empty. It's not
Right.
authentic. It's very empty,
Right. Right.
right? And we're not creating the community and the advisors and the helplines and the
How do we
sacred
bridge the gap
space.
though? How do you think we bridge the gap? Because I mean, here we are. I'm just west of Toronto. You're in New York.
New
We have this,
Jersey, yeah.
we have this wonderful opportunity to connect through a platform that provides connectivity. You and I'm sure when you do calls with potential members of your community, you can be all over the world in the morning. I mean, we can be
Oh,
in Europe.
yes.
We can, right? I mean,
Yes.
that's the beauty of this kind of connection. But you're
Yes.
absolutely right. How do we take it to I mean, you and I would love to sit down and have coffee or dinner because the face-to-face connection, there's nothing like it.
I agree. And I think
Right.
more people are missing that,
Right.
right? I think that's and people are looking for community and face to face back home, like where they are, right? I'm doing it kind of socially.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I mean, one of the things that we've added to the soul professional thing are called soul adventures. It's actually trips that we're putting together, and it's not a retreat. You're not learning, but you are connecting with people in a whole different way.
And having fun.
And we go to different places in Europe. We're doing a river cruise and hitting 5 countries, and we do one every June. Um, and it's a way for people just to come connect. We have our meals together. We do excursions together. It's all taken care of. but
Right.
it's a different level of connection. You're
Connection. Right.
actually making lifelong friendships and connections, and most of these people are also professionals.
Now, one of the things that you did with your platform was you trademarked it.
Yes.
So for those who are in our viewing and listening audience and have a great idea and they're wondering or they're pondering the thought of a trademark, can you give us, what do you feel was the benefit of trademarking your great idea?
Yeah. I have a few trademarks. Um, Sole Professional, it actually took 3 years to get a trademark because they kept fighting me. The trademark office kept fighting me on it. And now there's a hair care product with the exact name. And I told my trademark attorney, I was like, what can I do? And they're like, nothing, because it's a totally different
Oh,
field,
really?
right? But now we fight for Google. I was like,
Jeez
it took me
Louise.
3 years, and they probably didn't know,
Right.
because they didn't trademark it. They're just using it, but I can't fight because they use it in a different way. So it's just like,
Wow.
yeah.
So would
So
you
it's,
would
it's
you recommend it? Would you recommend the experience of a
Um,
trademark?
I would, because if I, especially for my soul professional one is a big one. I do own six-figure souls as well. And I can see that people try to use it, but they have to change the words and stuff because I own the trademark.
Right.
My podcast was called that. Um, but with soul professionals, or any trademark, right? Anything that you're trying to do, if the word becomes known, right? You're putting out the marketing, you're using, someone else can just scoop it, start using it, buy all the URLs and put it in and get all the Google returns, right? They can't if you trademark it, right? So trademarking, and it's pretty inexpensive to trademark things. So I do think trademarking is very important.
And is it important for, because we have international? So is your trademark an international trademark or is your trademark specifically within the US?
Mine is specifically in the US. An
Mhm,
international trademark is a little bit different.
mhm.
But usually if people can't get a US market, they're not gonna, what are they gonna do with it?
Right. Right. Yeah, true,
Right?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
because
it
we're all
wasn't,
looking for expansion,
yes. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So the US market, just having a US trademark is really, really important, I feel,
Mhm, right.
right? That's the best way to do it.
So I mean, we all do, personal development comes along with professional success, I find, because
Oh
they kind
gosh,
of go
yeah.
hand in hand, right? Like you're
Absolutely.
never going to reach your goals and objectives from a business perspective if you're not also tending to the personal side of who you are,
100%.
right?
Yes. 100%.
So what's next for you? I mean, you've got a tremendous amount of success. You're clearly in the innovative, creative connection mode in the next year, because we all look back, we look at last year. You've shared with us it was your most successful business year. And you've
Yeah.
also shared with us that the first quarter was like, what the heck has happened?
Yeah.
So what do you think what have you got your sights on for the next 12 months?
So, uh, um, I was sharing with you before that I kind of slowed down over the summer to
Mhm.
kind of to that step back of
Yep.
stop pushing myself forward,
Mhm.
right? Because like resisting what's happening or throwing stuff out there from a place of scarcity is never going to sell. So I actually took 2 months and and I promised myself I would not create. I could write down any ideas, but I cannot create for 2 straight months. And it was actually beautiful because it really made me think through, do
Right.
I still even want to do what I'm doing? So, talked to a lot of trusted advisors around the soul professional movement. And I was like, yes, I'm still going to go through with this. There's a pledge out there that people can take. Let's still build this up.
Mhm.
But let us have it cross into the professional world. So, corporate executives and leaders can all also start to join that because I think it's really important.
Sure.
So that's a big part of it. I do want to actually pitch a book. I have my 3 collaborative books, but I have a solo book on the rise of the soul professional because I do think there's a paradigm shift happening in the world.
Mm.
So putting that out there and, acknowledging what is happening in the world, I think is really important. And I feel myself like I've done these group collaboratives. Like I've did one-on-one, and then I went to these hybrid, and
Mhm.
now people are asking for one-on-one work again, which I think is so amazing. Like, and it like this week I've been inundated with people asking about work again after 2 months of being like really, really slow. So I'm like, okay, momentum is picking up, but
Right.
I am a human design generator, right? I respond to the gaps in the world, right? I sit, I can see them, I respond to them. So if all of a sudden I'm getting all of this work that's going to be one-on-one, that's where I'll go. So
Sure.
I kind of go to what I feel the world needs in this moment, right? If people aren't buying my group package, I'll be like, all right, I just won't do it this time and I'll do it next semester. Like, so I
Sure.
kind of feel into what do people need at this time. And I feel like there's so much uncertainty right now, but I do also feel like there's this push into that like fall last quarter,
Hmm.
like like a lot of people had the slow summer and they're like, okay, now
And we're
let's get
ready.
focused and do this next piece. And I think that's why my phone is ringing so much now. So I think it's, just helping as many people as I can. I've been contacted for interim and fractional work, which I haven't done in about 10 years, but now I'm like, huh, that could be fun
Yeah,
because
maybe
there's
it's time.
so right because there's also so many larger corporations or family foundations or nonprofits that are coming up that want to be global, that
Sure.
want to be impact, but really don't have the foundation to do that,
Right.
right? And
Right.
that's a place where I could really shine, that I could really help. So I'm like, that might be fun. And I think it'll all help with my movement because I want to integrate all of these people in a professional organization.
That takes me to the your 3 words of advice, because one of the things that we do in the guest blog is we ask everyone to share 3 words of advice. So I would like
Yeah.
you to sort of wrap up our conversation by giving our viewing and listening audience an idea as to, and it sort of speaks to what's happening right now. It says,
Yeah.
because your 3 words are your life is calling.
Yes. Your life is calling and people are hearing it, but they're not responding to it. Yeah. And I think I'm working heavy with the word reinvention right now. I'm putting articles out on reinvention. I'm writing about reinvention because I think we're reinventing ourselves in this new timeline, this new portal, this new energy that we're in. A lot
Sure.
of us are in this reinvention mode. And what does it look like? Sometimes it's personal development, right?
Mhm.
Sometimes it's a career change. Sometimes it's entrepreneurship. Sometimes it's entrepreneurship back to the career. Like it's right. It's this
Fluid.
reinventing, and it's okay to constantly change. That
Yeah.
is totally okay. Most
Yeah.
of us are multi-passionate and we kind of go with the flow. That's part of honoring who you are and going with the flow. Um, but don't ignore it. I think that's the best advice. Don't ignore it. Even explore it. Even if you choose not to go in that direction, explore it. One of the things I used to do when I was in corporate is I used to apply for jobs and go on interviews just to make me know that, nope, I'm going to stay where I am
Right.
because I have these other opportunities. Sometimes you need that. And I always tell people, like, when you're not sure, especially entrepreneurs, I was like, when you're not sure, go apply for some jobs because you will quickly be like, nope, this is what I want to do.
Yeah, that's
Right?
so
Because
true.
it reminds you of why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I think looking for other opportunities in other fields, I've even told people lately, lots of clients, especially over the summer where the energy seems stuck, I was like, go either volunteer,
Mhm.
do something outside of your field, like a hobby, go dancing, go knitting. I don't care what you do. Do
Right.
something outside of your field. Um, Even a part-time job. I had someone, that works in like a crystal shop. She's like, I just find it fun. She's like, it's
Mhm.
so rewarding. I'm like, I know. Right? It's just the fact that you're out of your house, away from your desk, not working, 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 right? So it's shifting that energy that we all need.
And I also think that, that saying comes to mind is a change is as good as a rest.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right?
that is true. It's just changing your energy, changing your environment, sometimes just
Right.
switching around your furniture. I was actually
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
some of that last night. My
Yeah,
kid
for
was like,
sure.
"What are you doing?" I was like, "I don't know. It's my
The feng
2 year
shui
itch."
feels different.
Yeah, I have a 2 year itch. I was like, I don't know. I set like a lot of my house up 2 years ago. So I was like, I think it's time to just rearrange stuff.
There you go. Well, I really want to thank you for spending some time with us, Camille, because I think what I'd like to do is put out there that in next year, let's get reacquainted on the podcast and say, okay, a year ago we talked about reinvention, what actually happened
Oh
in the 12
yeah,
months. So let's do
fun.
that. Yeah.
I
Let's
would
get
love that.
together in a year and we'll sort of pick up the conversation from a reinvention standpoint and talk about what actually happened. Like what was the end result of all that
Oh, I'd
new
love that.
innovation? Yeah, let's do that.
I'd love that. Fun.
Well, I want to thank you very much for joining us because you've given us some really cool things to think about. You've given us permission actually to look at things from a different perspective, which I think is really important. So thank you so much for joining us.
You are welcome. Thank you for having me.
To our viewing and listening audience, I want to thank you for joining us today for this edition of Keeping It Real, introducing you to the person behind the logo. If you'd like to connect with our guest, you're going to find Camille Miller's contact information in the description portion below. I'm Trish Tonai, author, artist, and the founder and host for the series. And we invite you to share your business story. Just visit our website at shareyourstories.online and subscribe to our channel, Business Mentorship, Keeping It Real. Thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to meeting you next time when we share another great idea.